And this is, wow, really? This is what you guys have as a challenge for you both. It's big, but it's really worth it, I think. But you have to decide that for yourself. Ultimately, whatever I say here, guys, it's truly up to you whether or not this is something that you want. But this person here is ready to go. Like they're already ready to take a chance at love. The underlying energy, as you can see, is the King of Cups. This person, like love is the main focus. Being open to love is the main focus. Being available to receive that love is a main focus. And allowing your emotions to flow through you and allowing yourself to make space for love. That is another focus. Now, I don't know if you guys are dealing with a Scorpio or a Taurus, because you do have these cards in here that indicate that there is one. Wow, Devil and the Star. Gee whiz, man. Yeah, Devil talks about old ways of behaving, old ways of being. Not necessarily like death, but this is like patterns and behaviors, things that you do that honestly end up giving your power away, but only to it talks about toxic relationships. It talks about, addictive behavior or patterns that you do that may not be beneficial to you, what you're trying to do in your life, right? It's recognizing what you're giving your power away to. It's also feeling attached to something or seeing something in a very negative light. And I kind of see the Devil card can always give that impression of something bad is happening or something wrong is going on or somebody's going to get possessed. And that's not, if those of you that are new to tarot, that's not what the Devil means. The Devil is a metaphor, right? This whole tarot reading thing is these cards. Every last card is based off of a metaphor. Everybody, it's they all have metaphors to them, and the Devil's one of them, right? And the Devil makes you feel like you don't, that you dabble into unholy things. You do things that are taboo, right? Those are all things that are not seen as appropriate or societally acceptable, but they're allowed. Like, for instance, think about all the things that are fun that we consider as Devil's work, right? Like gambling. That's the thing that you could see in the Devil card. But I feel like, I'm not going to try and educate everybody what the fuck the Devil is, but what I'm trying to say is that there is some sort of mindset or behavior that is honestly that gives relationships for somebody in this reading a feeling of disempowerment. They feel disempowered in their relationship, and I feel like they've ultimately tried to get their life back. They have gotten their life back, but they have let themselves believe that relationships may not be the best because they always end up giving their power away, or they may feel like they are not, that they're trapped in a relationship. They don't really see that they're valued, or there's certain habits that they do to compensate for the relationship to make sure it works. And like somebody maybe will be giving themselves too much in the relationship and then being taken advantage of. There's a lot of things that could happen, and the Devil can mean so much. And I feel like the Devil is so big here, and it's a strong message already in the underlying energy with that star saying that there is potential for great happiness, but because there's some things that someone's not able to, that someone's having a hard time releasing right now, a lot of the old behaviors are coming back up. A lot of things that some sort of mechanism or behavior this person may have put in place is set to prevent them from getting in a situation again, when in actuality is also just putting them in an even more disempowered situation or disempowerful position. So crazy already in the beginning of this, immediately seeing that. And I kind of like this person over here, and typically I read this as my client, right? So this side would be Pisces, and this person would be the soulmate of the Pisces, right? But this is a YouTube reading, so feel free to pick the side that resonates with you the best. Okay, this in order for you to truly know which side you're on or truly know what's going on, you have to get a reading from me personally. But this person here is having the hardest time dealing with the changes, and truly not dealing with the changes, but also like having to adjust and pull these swords out, because they have old issues here that they're facing, and that's how they see this relationship. Immediately how they're going into this relationship is that they have a lot of old stuff coming up, a lot of past pains that are coming up. There's a lot of things that they haven't truly let go of, not because they want to hold grudges, not because they haven't, they're resentful, but because they were so hurt and so traumatized that I feel like this person hasn't been able to truly let go and like allow for love to return into their life, allow for new experiences to bless them. And it's there it comes again, the devil card, where there's behaviors and sequences and patterns where this person may have had things, have done things to push people away, to cut things off, or to stop connecting with people altogether. They may have felt a bond with a person before, and they may be feeling like that bond has put them in a very disempowering position. And they don't feel like they can truly trust being in a relationship like that again, because the person they were so close to may have put them in a position where they can't really be in a relationship ever again, Well, at least they feel this way, they think this way. So immediately when they come to this relationship, they got a lot of old stuff that they have to, they're being reminded of, they're recognizing, they're like, they see this relationship as a danger zone, but at the same time, they do want to be with somebody. They do want to love. They do want to have happiness. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to do this by themselves. They understand how independent they are. You have the Nine of Pentacles here that shows that they know how powerful they are. They know that they are able and capable of doing things on their own. But the thing is that they're alone. And they don't want to be. And I think the hardest part is that this alone time has made them very much more aware of themselves and how much they've gone through, which is why they've built such a big cage. The Nine of Pentacles rather, is a card that indicates the gilded cage. And I feel like this person here has built that up. They've built that up so that way they would protect themselves, They would protect themselves, and, nobody would be able to hurt them. They truly have, they truly value their boundaries, but they have their boundaries so tight and so high that it's almost like it's hard to penetrate that shield that they've got going on. But that shield is also keeping them suffocated, keeping them from experiencing great things, keeping them from being happy, truly happy, because the Pentacles are physical, material things that have no value whatsoever unless the person around them gives them that value. Emotions are what gives you value. Emotions is what gives life to experiences. This person has pretty much put themselves in a cage that I feel like it was developed from an old relationship that they've been in, or after an old relationship, or how they've kind of coped with the situation that they were in last, to pretty much to carry them through, to help them move forward. So you could tell this person knows that they're independent, and they have been single or probably independent for a long time, or maybe this person is newly single and learning how to be on their own, but they've also built up a wall and a little bit of a cage so that they don't get hurt again. But this person here, I feel like this person here's the thing, I get two vibes from this individual. One is that this person is kind of feeling the same way. So instead of seeing this situation as old issues are coming back up, they're kind of seeing this as how is this relationship going to be any different than the last ones they've been through? Whether they failed, they have been lacked of communication, whatever. If they have always been confusing, how am I going to really see? Why would I pursue something that I've already kind of gotten crushed on? I think they're looking at everything they've experienced instead of what they want to feel. Now, the second one is that this person is waiting on a response, waiting on somebody to get back with them. They've been sending out messages, they've been trying to contact, and they have reached out. And I think this, they're not sure how long they're willing to, not how long they're willing to wait, but they're not sure if this relationship is something that will give them happiness, because they're not getting what they're looking for. They're not getting a response. They're not looking in the right place for it, though. Because that's what the Four of Cups can indicate too. Somebody may not be looking for it. So ultimately, right? I think there's actually three. So one, this person's looking at the relationship, probably not sure if this is something they want to pursue, because they've already been through something like this similar, right? They may have been through several relationships and then have been constantly and repeatedly disappointed. The other one could be that this person's waiting on a response or waiting for a message, and they're trying to be patient, right? They're not sure what to do, so they're looking at what they can do, right? So they're just waiting patiently, and they're not getting a response. And at the same time, The third one, right? Not the same time, but the third one, the third option, depending on who you guys are watching for, depending on who your soulmate is, this person may be, having a hard time considering an offer, or not seeing that there's somebody that wants to, seeing that there's love being offered to them, because they're so focused on the three cups. They're so focused on, what they've been through, what they've gone through, what they have right now, what they've already experienced, right? They're not necessarily looking at the relationship. And I know it sounds similar to number 2, but the differences between number 2 and number 3, number 1 and number 2, is that they're not looking at the 3 cups thinking, why would I jump into a relationship because I've already been through this. It's more of like, everything's so good, and everything is happening right now. This is a lot. This is what's going on in my life right now. I'm focusing on that. I don't even see that the other person's trying to even get my attention that, hey, I want to be in a relationship with you. The Ace of Cups. They're not seeing that. They don't see it. They don't notice it. They're just so focused on what they have going on right now, and not looking at why they shouldn't get into the relationship, what they've already been through, and not, thinking that this may be different if they choose to do something else different. Now, the person showing up in this present is very independent as well. Now, the King of Pentacles, they're showing to this individual that they are also ready to settle down, they are ready to commit. Okay, this person is solid and ready to go. Okay, they're solid, ready to go, or they're looking for something long term that actually will last them longer than 5 minutes. They want somebody that will definitely settle down with them and really build a future with, because they're ready to build a future. They're in a position to build a future. They've set themselves up to have more than just a relationship that's, fun and interactive and all that. They want to grow as a family, but they also understand that's going to take time, and it's going to take serious growth in the foundation between both. So this person here isn't cutting things off, or, shutting, pushing people away. I think they're very serious, and they're very practical about how they see a relationship and how they approach it, which is why this person maybe, if this was the first option, right? Which was the person that was looking at the situation, looking at the relationship and thinking, well, I've been through X, Y, and Z. What is going to make this thing differently? Make this thing different. And I think this is why this person is very slow. They take their time. They're very detail oriented. They like to get to know you very well, and they want to see how well you cooperate with them, because they're very practical. They want stability. They don't want to be left out hanging. And I think that's why this person is the number one person doing that. I think all of them kind of applies to all 3 of them. But as well, if this was number 3, they don't realize that there's a relationship here. I feel like this is them taking their time, taking their time to really get to know their surroundings, get to know themselves. And honestly, they are in a position to have a relationship, or maybe they're not. I don't know. They're independent. They're focusing on their career and everything else with option number 3, potentially. But again, you have to apply the soulmate situation as you go along. But I feel like ultimately this person is in a settle down ready situation. They're not looking for a fling or let's see how things go after 7 months. More sort of thing like I'm dating you for the potential of being my, my significant other, my spouse, and to eventually, have more, have families or whatever. Because this person here is the family man, the King of Pentacles. He's just the family man of the tarot. This doesn't have to be a man, y'all, but this, that's his other name here in this thing. And it's because he wants to provide for his family. He wants to create a home and a shelter and a space for his family to reside and to be comfortable. He likes to build tradition. He wants to build traditions and continue traditions, and to, be someone, to lead on a legacy, rather, right? Not necessarily be immortal, like I was about to say, but more of like lead on a legacy. Now, the reason why both parties are the way that they are here, the reason why this person, number 1, number 2 option here is got the Knight of Cups as the reason as to why they're presenting themselves the way they present themselves in the Knight of Cups. They're very specific as to what they want. This is why this person is ready to settle down, ready to commit, already committed to, perhaps if this is someone that's waiting on a response from you, if this is you guys, or if this is you guys over here, then this perhaps is why you guys are patient, or being patient, or waiting, or not sure to pursue in a relationship. And it's because you guys or focusing on what you want. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you're looking for. This person here is very focused on what they feel and focused on what they want. They're tunnel visioning that. So there is definitely a case of them, being kind of slow and taking it easy because they want this to be right. They want to do it. They want to do it right. Now, the reason why this person has the Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles here, the Nine of Pentacles in their present, Three of Swords in their mindset, Nine of Pentacles in their, how they present themselves, is because of the Three of Cups. Because they've met someone. Now, it probably started off as someone that was friends, and maybe you've met someone and you guys were good friends for a while, and then all of a sudden you're starting to catch feels, or realize the feelings you have for this person is more than what you're willing to have for a friend anymore. Like, I think there's more to that. At the same time, too, there may be, the reason why this person is having a hard time even thinking about a relationship is because maybe they had a situation where somebody went behind their back and they've cheated on them, right? Maybe this person is a victim of being cheated on. At the same time, this could be someone that's been a victim of being friend zoned, or not being considered as someone that's more than friend worthy. But I kind of feel like this person but ultimately I feel like this person is thinking this stuff because they've met someone, they've connected with people, they've connected with this person, and they are friends. They have such a, they're in their inner circle, but can they trust that person to loan their heart to? That's where take a chance at love comes in. Now, what brought these two together was the sun. What brought you both together was the sun. You guys both seen each other. You guys both seen each other very clearly. You guys both seen the path to happiness. Everything wasn't murky and weird, But the challenges that you face is the moon, the unknown, right? What could happen? The what ifs. Trusting your intuition, trusting your heart, and going with it, going with how you feel. The challenge is to face a lot of those fears, face a lot of those things that make us scared about relationships or getting involved with another person again, and truly finding our happiness through the fight to overcome the things that make us feel like we can't do something, or we can't be with somebody, or else some sort of outcome will happen. And that's the devil too, right? And if we keep doing something, or if we have a pattern in some way, it's because we feel like we can't do something. It's breaking free from the barriers, of breaking free from the restrictions. And the moon is wide open in darkness, right? Anything can come out and bite you, but also nothing can come out and bite you. Nothing can come out and do anything to you. You could end up, coming out and realizing that you're in a beautiful utopia. It was just nighttime. But the thing is, you have to be brave with this and overcome this, the fear, overcome the anxieties and the stress, overcome the uncertainties of what this relationship can eventually go into, because it's up to you to decide where you guys go. Never your past will decide that. Never the past. Never your destiny. Your destiny is what you choose. Right? And this is your chance to make this relationship beautiful, but you have to give it a chance first. So let's take a look-see at your Wisdom of the Oracle cards and see what you guys got for today, for the next couple of weeks. Exchanging gifts. Now that talks about a give and take, and responses, and giving. Giving responses and giving something to someone, communication back and forth, but being open to receiving as well as giving. Okay, and believe it or not, a lot of people find that's very hard. They find it easy to give of themselves versus giving, versus receiving, and receiving with love. And usually it's because people may feel like there's something attached to that. There's something that they want from that. And there's nothing unconditional from it. But if you give of yourself unconditionally, and you love someone unconditionally, then there's nothing you need to expect, right? There's no need to expect anything from someone. And I don't really know why I'm going down that rabbit hole. I think somebody needed to hear that. But the exchanging gifts does talk about there needing to be a conversation or some back and forth, some sort of balance in regards to reciprocation. Like I said, communication already. Like, exchanging gifts is about being open to receiving something beautiful and not letting your fear taint it. not letting fear, not letting anxiety, not letting what happened in the past taint beautiful things that may be coming in your life. Because you got some good stuff here. You have a potential for something great to come in. The sun says that you are brought together because of the potential of great happiness. That's what the sun means. But the challenges that you face is the darkness that you both have faced in your past relationships and in your past lives that is coming up in this beautiful sun ray and pretty much tainting it. You're having an eclipse moment right now. It's like, even though the sun is out, you can still see the moon is blocking the way. So everything's a little dim and weird. I don't know if you guys have ever been been outside during an eclipse. I know I have, and it's weird. Everything's like a dark, bright light. It's really weird. It's like everything's dimmed. Like somebody put like their hand in front of a lamp, but it's so far out, but that the light is still shining all over us. But everything's like a really brownish dark color, and that's what's kind of going on right now. Like, you have the sun out, still shining and showing you potential for great happiness, but that moon is like, yeah, but do you truly trust this light? Do you truly trust it? Do you truly believe that you can be happy? And that is what has to happen here. You have to overcome the fear that the moon will strike in you and strike, not the moon. It's not the moon's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's truly healing from the experiences and taking the lessons from those experiences with you as you go through this relationship. Build better boundaries, valuing yourself, loving yourself first, putting yourself first. All those things. The moon shows you that, but you have to be open and willing. That's why the King of Cups is also your underlying energy, and exchanging gifts is also your Wisdom of the Oracle card.